Let's make a plant-based Palak Paneer. Welcome back to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today we are going to make Palak Paneer, which some of you know it as Saag Paneer, but there is a difference. Palak Paneer is the sauce that's specifically made out of spinach. Saag is a mix of greens, so we're going to make a spinach version. But first we're going to start with the paneer. We're going to make a vegan version of paneer, just with extra firm tofu. And I've already marinated this overnight. I like to infuse a little bit of flavor into the tofu before I cook it in the palak, just to give it a little bit more flavor. Completely optional, you could just throw your tofu in there. It would be fine too. What I have here is 3/4 of a cup of a low sodium vegetable broth, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of ginger powder, and 1 teaspoon of a Thai curry paste. And I'll show you that when I'm making the palak. So I just marinated this overnight, and I already preheated my oven to 400 degrees because we're going to bake these a little bit just to kind of seal the surface of the tofu so that when you stir it into the sauce or cook it into the sauce, they don't fall apart, and that they can kind of seal in some of the flavor into those tofu cubes. And this is an extra firm tofu, a 14-ounce package, and I just made them into small cubes. All right, there we go. Just gonna spread them out a little bit. And we're gonna put this in for 20 minutes. Okay, so now onto the Palak sauce. And I'm doing a really simplified version, but you're not gonna miss any of that flavor. And the star of the show is the spinach. So this is 10 ounces of fresh spinach. And if you know anything about spinach, it's really best to eat it cooked. You absorb more of the nutrients and the health benefits from the spinach if it's cooked. So that's great because that's the main ingredient of this dish. So we're going to start with 1 onion. I just kind of chunked it up because it's all going in the food processor anyway. Got 3 cloves of garlic and 1 tablespoon of ginger that I just grated on my microplane, but you could just chop it up really fine. Put that in there. And I have a tablespoon of a low sodium tamari. And I have a teaspoon of cumin, teaspoon of turmeric, and a 1/2 teaspoon of garam masala. And then I have 1 teaspoon of the Thai chili paste that I was telling you about. It just has a really great flavor. You can get this in just about any grocery store in the international section. It's a really great product. And then if you've had this out at a restaurant, which I'm sure most of you have had, and you're familiar with it, there's always just a hint of sweetness in it, even though the traditional recipes don't call for any kind of sweetener. So I like to add just 2 deglette dates. If you're using medjool, you can just use 1. You just really want just a hint of sweetness. And then a tablespoon of lemon juice. And then we're gonna start with our spinach here. And you might have to do this in stages, just put in a little bit, grind it, put in some more, because if you try to put it all in there at the same time, it really struggles to get it moving in there. So we're just gonna put probably about 1/2 to start. And then we're gonna grind it with the food processor here. And just to get things moving a little bit, I'm gonna add just a teeny bit of vegetable broth. This, all in all, for the recipe, it's 1 cup of vegetable broth, but we're just gonna use a little bit of it at a time. Okay, now we're gonna add the other 1/2. And it works best to, in the first round, to just pulse it. It gets it moving a little bit easier than if you just go high speed right off the bat. Okay, then pulse it again. And you don't want to run this until it's just really creamy. You want it to still be a little chunks of spinach and the onion and the ginger. You still want to see the little chunks in there. Okay, that looks like about enough. Just like that. You still want to see some of the vegetables that are not completely ground up. All right, I'm going to clear this stuff out and get my pan and my burner. While we're waiting for that, I'd like to share some background on our show. The Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show is crowd-funded, which means these free weekly recipe videos, along with our entire catalog of free printable recipes on our website, plantbasedcookingshow.com, and our Plant-Based Cooking Made Easy cookbook series, are all made possible in part by the generous patronage of our supporting membership community. So if you love our recipes, I invite you to join us on our mission to make plant-based cooking easy, and follow the link in the description to become a supporting member today. There's no denying the plant-based diet is a nutrient powerhouse, but did you know there are a handful of hard-to-get nutrients even well-crafted diets are often lacking? The latest research suggests that complementing your diet with a few specific vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s will help boost your energy and keep you thriving for the long term. That's why my daily health routine includes Complement Essential. Complement Essential contains the 8 critical nutrients lacking from most plant-based diets in dosages optimized specifically for us. As a special discount for our viewers, just use code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout to save 15% off of your order. Okay, so now I've got my pan out. And we're going to add this spinach mixture to our pan and get that cooking. I've got my pan on medium-high. And then we're going to add the rest of that vegetable broth. And a cup of some coconut milk. And this is a light coconut milk, but you can also use the full-fat coconut milk. All right, so we're going to cook this down for about 15 minutes while our tofu cubes are still baking. And then once those are done, we'll add them to our sauce and cook it down just a little bit more. Okay, so our tofu is done and it's out of the oven. If you want to come in and take a look at this beautiful sauce, it smells so amazing. I can't wait to dig in. So now all that's left is to add the tofu. So we're just going to use the parchment paper just to use it like a scoop here. Put that in there. And we're just going to let this simmer for maybe 5 more minutes or so just to kind of get the sauce flavor infused into those tofu cubes. All right, that is it. Super simple, super easy, super delicious. All right, all that's left, I'm going to let this cool a little bit and then I'll meet you at the table for a taste. Okay, you know what I'm going to say. Time for a taste. Oh, this just smells so good. And we're going to have this to eat tonight for our dinner. And we usually just have it over baked mashed sweet potato instead of rice. But I'm just going to taste it just like this. So many different layers of flavor. Delicious. Come on back next week for another great recipe.